Hello everyone, my name is Partho Das, Assistant Professor, Department of Electrical Engineering, JS College of Engineering, West Bengal, India. First of all, welcome to my class. So today, as you can see, the topic of today's class is DC generator characteristics. So already in this module, we have discussed about the constructional features, about the working principle, about the EMF equation, about the types of DC generator we have. So there we have seen that according to excitation and according to the connection, DC generators can be of different types. So as DC generator can be of different type, so different generator should have some different characteristics, correct? So that thing we have to know. Okay, so first of all we have to know what are the different types of DC generator is available in the market. So let us see that. Okay, yes, types of generator. So what are the types of generator we have? Basically three types of generator we have. One is field coils excited by permanent magnet, that is known as the permanent magnet DC generators. Okay, next one is field coil excited by some external source, separately excited DC generators. And when the field coils are excited by the generator itself, it is known as self excited DC generator. So as you can think of, in the previous class we have done the constructional part. So in when we have done the constructional part, there we have seen that a DC generator have mainly two parts. One is a stator and one is a rotor. In stator we have the magnetic poles. Over the magnetic poles we have the winding that is known as the field winding, and over the rotor we have an armature slot. In between the armature slot we have another winding that is known as the armature winding. So these are the two types of winding we have in DC generator or motor. In both cases the same windings are there, field winding and armature winding. So if we just visualize, there in generator we have two winding, one is field, one is armature. So within them, field winding is a stationary winding and armature winding is a rotating winding. Obviously we can say that because over the rotor we have the armature winding and rotor itself rotates, so definitely armature winding is a rotating winding. And in case of field winding, it is on the magnetic pole. And what is the magnetic pole? It is on the stator. Stator is a stationary part of the machine, so you can say that um, this armature winding, field winding is a stationary one. Okay, so now let us identify why there are three types of DC generators are there. So follow my point, right? It is very interesting to know. So whatever picture is given in the right hand side over here, so that is a separately excited DC generator. So what is separately excited DC generator? Let us see. So it is known that field windings, field coils excited by some external source. So this is the field winding and this is the armature winding. Now you can ask me, both are winding, so why there is a different representation? One winding is shown as a coil and one winding is shown as a goes is a circle over there. So why there is a difference? The difference is due to the its property. One coil is a stationary coil and second coil is a rotating coil. So here follow my pointer. So here this field winding is a stationary winding, okay, and this armature winding is a rotating winding. To represent that this it is a rotating winding, the armature winding is represented like this, and this two things here and here, these are the carbon brush. Okay, so first we have identified that this is the field winding, next one is the armature winding, and this field winding is excited from some different source, and this armature winding is connected to some sort of uh, maybe load, without load it is also possible. That means when this field winding, as we can see in the right side diagram, that when this field winding is connected to some sort of load, so from some sort of source, then it is known as the separately excited. Now the same field winding and armature winding, both, if both are supplied by the same source, then what will happen, then it is known as the self excited DC generator. So now and in and the first one, the permanent magnet DC generator. So what is there? So instead of this total combination, see, follow my pointer, instead of this total combination, the source and coil. So what is the purpose of this source and coil? The source is giving uh, potential to the winding, and it is generating some magnetic flux. That flux is cutted by the armature winding and it is generating some EMF, correct? So now if we use a permanent magnet, so what is the utility of this using this electromagnet? That is, when supply is given, it will be a magnetized one. But when we are going to use a permanent magnet, so there definitely we are using a material which is always generating some magnetic field. Okay, so in that case, externally doesn't have to give any kind of supply to the field winding. The permanent magnet always itself it is generating some flux, and that flux will be cutted by the armature winding and it will generate some EMF. Okay, but there is some problem. Electromagnets, a permanent magnet has very high cost, and at the same time this permanent magnet with with the time its property is going its magnetic strength is going lower. So that's why instead of permanent magnet, nowadays for the large machine we use the electromagnet. So these are the classification of the DC generator depending upon the excitation. Now inside this, the self-excited machine, that is where the field winding and armature winding both are excited by the same source. There we can say that the self-excited machine again can be classified into three categories. What are the categories? Let us check. Yes, according to the position of the field coils, the self-excited DC generator may be classified as, what is the classification? Already we have discussed, just briefly I'm discussing with you here. The series wound generator, shunt wound generator, and compound wound generator. So series wound generator means where this field winding and armature winding both are connected in series and they are supplied from the common source. Shunt wound generator means where this field winding and armature winding connected in parallel and both are excited from the same source. And compound wound generator means where series parallel both combinations are present. And again this compound wound generator again can be classified into two categories. What are the categories? Cumulatively compound generators and differentially compound generators. So these are the circuit connection we can do, or some not circuit connection, these are the winding connection we can make, so that the values will be additive and the values will be subtractive. So those are the properties we have when we have done the types, there we have discussed those things. So here we are just going to see, going to view the characteristics, mainly characteristics of different kind of machines whatever we have. So we can see that here mainly three types of DC generator we have as per the connection is concerned: series, shunt, and compound. Okay, let us see the next slide. Yes, it is a very interesting and very beautiful presentation of series and shunt wound generator, where as you can see, first see that this is the left hand side diagram, here armature winding and field winding, as I am told you that both are connected in series and they are connected to some sort of load. So as it is a closed loop, some current is flowing, so it is shown that there is ISC, short circuit current. And in case of this um, shunt generator, there armature winding and field winding, as we can see over there, both are connected in parallel. Follow my pointer, they are connected in parallel. So it is a pictorial representation how they looks like series and shunt. Yes, and this is the compound one. So in compound, as we can see, there is a short shunt compound and long shunt compound, two types of compound generators we have. It's actually depends upon the um, connection. So see, as we can see that with this armature, this field winding has two sections. One is the series part, second one is the parallel part or the shunt part. So this is the field winding section, and here also these are the same field winding section, and as you can see this is the armature. Okay, and in this case, in this particular left hand side diagram, as we can see, this is the short shunt compound diagram, and here it is a long shunt compound diagram. Already in the previous classes we have discussed those things. Okay, and this below section is very important. So it is a cumulatively compound DC generator and differentially compound DC generator. See, cumulatively means it is additive and differential means it is subtractive. So how we can identify that when it will be additive and when it will be subtractive? See, just check over there in that picture what is the current direction. If both current direction are same, it will be additive. If it is opposite, then it will be subtractive. Correct? So here see, ISC is entering from here, leaving from here. That is the short circuit current or the series current. Here is the shunt current. Both has the same direction. It is entering and it is going out. So both has the same direction. So it will be additive. And here definitely it will be opposite. So it is entering from here, going out. That is a series current, series field current, and the shunt field current is direction is reverse. Correct? So that's why there is a difference in between the as the direction is opposite. So let us start with the characteristics. So separately excited DC generator and self excited DC generators have different types of characteristics. What are the different types of characteristics we have no load characteristics, we have load characteristics. In load characteristics we have uh, internal characteristics, we have the external characteristics. So one by one we are going to see what are those. So okay, so let us first check what is written over here and what we have to understand over here. So magnetic or open circuit characteristics. So this characteristic is almost same for separately excited generated DC generator, as well as the same time it is for the self excited DC generators also. Okay, this curve, which gives the relation between field current and the generated voltage in the armature on no load, is called open circuit characteristics. That means um, we in DC generator we have supplied some field current, and due to that some flux is generated. That flux is cutted by the armature winding, and that's why there is a EMF generation. Okay, and at that terminal that voltage is appearing as the not secondary, it is the rotor section is open circuited. So this is the characteristics between the field current and the uh, EMF or voltage induced in the rotor section. So initially when we are giving the supply to the generator, so that time we can say that as the characteristic. So just carefully follow the characteristics. As you can see the characteristics, when the field current is very less, so with the increasing value of field current, follow my pointer, with the increasing value of field current, the no load voltage is increasing. At a certain point, this is known as this section where it is going after certain point. So now just let us check one wave only, one graph only. So at a certain point it is now constant. So that means if we increase the field current, then only no armature voltage is going to be increased, because it is at the saturation level. So it reached at its maximum value. So we cannot increase that, we cannot think like that if we are continuously increasing field current. So no, the terminal voltage is not going to be increased into infinite level. So it depends upon up to which value this the voltage will increase. That depends on the what quality of conductor we have used, or winding we have used in the DC generator rotor section. Okay, so this is the characteristics. Started from 0, after some extent it will be increased, and after that it is going to be steady in the saturation zone. Okay, um, next point, what is written, the plot of this curve is practically same for all types of generators, as I have told you, that whether they are separately excited or they are self excited. Okay, so this curve also known as no load saturation characteristics curve of DC generator. Yes, after some time it is in the saturation level, so it will go like in the straight line. Okay, and as we can see, there are three curves is representing for three different speed. Okay, so where this above one is the N3, N2 and N1, where N3 is the highest RPM speed of the machine. So this is the no load characteristics of the DC generator. Next, coming to the next characteristics. So this is what is the topic, other characteristics. So what we have to know over here, when the generator is loaded, then the voltage drops due to two main reasons. So when this is the last characteristics, whatever we have seen there, we have seen that the rotor terminal that means not rotor terminal, the output terminals are open, no load is connected to that one. But now if load is connected, what will happen? Two drops will appear. One is the armature reaction drop, and second one was the ohmic loss or the copper loss of the winding. So let us see what is written over here. So yes, what are the reason? Number one, due to the armature reaction, yes, and number two, due to the ohmic drop. That means in the armature section, in the armature winding, have some resistance that is denoted by Ra, and when some current is flowing, say Ia, its current flowing is flowing through it. So what is the drop according to Ohm's law? V is equal to IR. So what is the I? Ia. What is the R? Ra. So the drop will be Ia into Ra. So that ohmic loss is mentioned, follow my pointer, this is it is mentioned over here, this is the ohmic loss. So now what is the internal characteristic? Internal characteristics means that whatever characteristics is obtained, whatever characteristic is obtained from no load characteristic, that that height or magnitude is going to be dropped. Why this is going to be dropped? Due to the when in the secondary side, when we are connecting some load, or we are making some short in the secondary side, then what will happen? So there will be armature reaction. So due to that armature reaction, what is going to be happen? So some main field flux is going to be destroyed, and when some main field flux is going to be destroyed, so it is affecting the output of that particular generator. So the generator output is going to be decreased. Okay, so that magnitude value is going to be somehow. So say this is the first curve. So when there is armature reaction, that value is not going like this, so it is dropping from the main side to the next one. And at the same time, when the in case of external characteristics, the due to the presence of the resistance in the armature winding, so there are again some drops are there. So if it is no load, if it is the internal characteristics, then below the internal characteristics we have the external characteristics. That means first one, there is no drop. Next the middle one is a drop, only armature reaction, and next to next is the third one car, there we have the armature reaction plus there is a ohmic drop. So these are the three characteristics we have. Now pictorially we will see that what are the characteristics and how to deal with them. Yes, this is the curve. This is the in x axis we have to consider this load current, and in the y axis we can consider that three components. What are the three components? No load voltage, generated voltage, and terminal voltage. Okay, so very interestingly see that when no load is connected at that time, so with respect to this load current is increasing. For ideal case, the terminal voltage should be constant. This is the ideal case, but due to the presence of armature reaction phenomenon, so the voltage is going to be decreased like this way, so there is a drop. So follow my pointer. This is the ideal case where there is no drop. So with the change of load current, the voltage is not going to be changed. Okay, this is a no load voltage. So this is a load current. The previous curve, whatever we have seen, that is between the field current and the terminal voltage, or the no load generated voltage. And here we are just giving that load current versus no load voltage, generated voltage, and terminal voltage. So this is the no load voltage, first one. That is the ideal case where no drop is there. Now, after subtracting from the armature reaction whatever voltage, so this second line, follow my pointer. If this is second line is representing the generated voltage, and after generated voltage, when it is connected to some sort of load, that is so load, then there is a ohmic drop. Due to that, curve is, follow my pointer, this is the curve, this one is the curve. So this is known as the external characteristics, where there is inclusion of ohmic loss. This is the internal characteristics, where only armature reaction drop is included, and here it is the no load voltage, where no drops are calculated, or no drops are actually present, not calculated, it is not present over here. Yes. Now the same thing. So two types of characteristics we have seen, that is no load characteristics, and with that we have seen that internal characteristics and external characteristics. So for each machine, shunt, series, compound, we are going to see there are three characteristics. So almost same. Now one thing is changing. There, just follow the left hand side diagram there. As we can see there, this curve isn't started from 0 axis, it started from some value. So that means we are telling that when field current has a 0 value, follow my pointer, when this field current has a 0 value, at that time the terminal is showing some voltage. How can be it possible? How can be it possible? So it's actually the property of the winding, due to which when no source is present, but a little magnetic field is present inside the winding of the machine, and due to that presence of the that magnetic field, it is showing us some voltage. That voltage, that magnetism, the presence of that magnetism, is known as the residual magnetism. Okay, and due to that magnetism, whatever voltage we can find out, that is known as the residual voltage. Okay, so there are two terms, one is residual magnetism and residual voltage, very important for uh, all to understand. And so that's why it is not started from 0. It is this portion, the whatever voltage is appearing over here, from this to this, follow my pointer, from this point to this point there are some voltage. That particular voltage is known as the residual voltage. Okay, and this is the next case, the external, internal and external characteristics, as you can see the same. Okay, so now this is the characteristics of series. Again same thing, we can characteristics, we can find out those things. Yes, it is started from here, then it drops, and drops are there. uh, okay, and this is why series DC generator is called constant DC generator. For shunt wound, load resistance of the machine must be maintained properly. See what thing is there, sorry, here, as we can see that this is series winding, that means field and armature winding both are connected in series. That means same current is flowing through both the winding. Okay, so the current here, follow my pointer here, current I is equal to ISC, that is equal to IL. That means whatever is the machine current, that is actually coming to the load. Okay, so due to that, it is mainly named as constant current DC generators. Okay, so these are the characteristics we have to know. This is all for today. Okay, I think you have today, after this class, I think you are able to understand what are the different types of machines we have according to the excitation, according to the connection, and what are the different types of characteristics it has. No load, internal, external characteristics for different machines. Okay, so this is all for today. Thank you.